Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashmi Kumehubi, and recently I went to MCM Comic Con. Why, you might, but probably won't ask? For the books. Specifically, the indie books. I'm going to start off by saying that this video will probably come across as almost like an advert, but it's an advert for indie authors. I haven't read any of these books yet, but I do plan to, and when I do, I'll likely do some sort of reading vlog or review of them. So if you're interested in that, you might want to subscribe. And yes, I just made another advert for me. Near the end of the video, I'm going to include the books that I actually bought there. If you want to skip ahead to that, then go for it. But I will say that lots of these books I only didn't buy because I felt I'd struggle to read them physically. So some of these might end up being hauled digitally if that's a thing. Unfortunately, I didn't get any footage of this, but in a way, I feel like that was a good thing because I got to chat to a lot of these authors in a way that I wouldn't have done with a camera in the way. I will say that most of these authors specifically mentioned that they have never and would never use Gen AI. MCM itself has a no Gen AI policy across the entire show, but obviously it's possible for some to slip through. Some of the authors even went into their process of who designed the covers and how. Quickly before I start, if you happen to be one of these authors and feel I didn't fully do your book justice, please comment. As I said, I'll probably do further videos on multiple of these books, and while I'm less likely to have a problem describing a book I've read, I'd rather the risk is minimum, as well as anyone who might watch the video and read the comments generally. Now, these are mostly in no particular order, but I will start with the person we talked to first. We talked to her for a long time about a bunch of different things. She's a Pixar fan, for instance. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced this or any of the names, but I'm talking about Caroline Astiago. She wrote the Shadow and Regret series, which is based on Norse mythology and Arthurian legend, basically following what happened after Merlin and Arthur died. She's a fan of BBC Merlin, and we talked a bit about the good and bad to do with that show. It's an urban fantasy with LGBTQ+ themes and is one I'm probably most sad about not being able to read. The physical version, I mean. The ebooks are available on Kobo. I thought it was on Kobo Plus while I was there, but either I was getting muddled with other ones on this list or it's come off of it since. So please do bear in mind with the following books that when I say they're on Kobo Plus, I do mean at time of recording, and that is subject to change. The physical books are available from Waterstones. I will also say that almost all of the books on this list, if not actually all of them, are available on Amazon and the author's own website. I'm not going to mention Amazon all the time because they don't treat indie authors very well, so don't really want to promote them. And I won't mention the author's website all the time because it gets repetitive, but I do plan on linking them all in the description. I will also say I'm mentioning Waterstones specifically, but if it's available there, then you can almost certainly order it from any independent bookshop or ask your library to consider getting a copy. All either of those need is the ISBN, and Waterstones always has the ISBN available if you can't find it anywhere else. Moving on, we have L.S. Delorme with the Limerent series. It's a paranormal fantasy series following different sets of characters. It looks like each book could potentially fit into a slightly different genre, but I'm not sure without reading it. I think it also might be one of those things where there's not a particular order you have to read them in, but I really wouldn't risk that. Some have ghosts, some have demons, some have immortals, you get the gist. According to the Kobo store, they're of differing lengths, but around 7 to 10 hours each on average. Speaking of Kobo, these are all available on Kobo Plus. The website also has links to other ebook stores, and they're available from Waterstones. Going into the wild with Francesca McMahon books? Mahon? She's the author of 2 series, one being Into the Wild. It's described as Tarzan meets Spirit and is a duology. A girl is brought up by wolves, kind of Mowgli style, which is obviously Jungle Book, not Tarzan. But hey, seemingly without really realizing she's not a wolf herself, and when she discovers she might be putting the pack in danger, she has to decide whether to leave for their safety. Francesca is also the author of the Eileen in the Otherworld series, of which currently only the first book is out, but it sounds like a banger. The first lesson Eileen McAllister learned in blacksmithing. First you harden and then you temper. Otherwise your metal will break. The same is true with life. I mean, come on. It's Percy Jackson meets Merlin as a 17-year-old girl moves back to Scotland with her family after having fled it years ago. No mention as to why they fled in the first place, and I am intrigued. These are available on both Kobo Plus and Waterstones. This next one posed a bit of a different experience for me. The author was actually on break when we got there, but another con goer was clearly a big fan as he was talking about how she writes dragons in a way that he's never seen before. This is Ella McRae and her Dragon Spirits series. Fen has lost his memory and is seeking help from a woman living at the edge of the world, and trouble is brewing, which Fen is worried that he might have played a part in, before losing his memory. These books are specifically available as DRM-free ebooks on the author's website, which means they're available to read from a plethora of e-readers. They're also super cheap and available as both ebook and audiobook on Kobo Plus. She also has another series available revolving around dragons called the World of Linearia series, where dragons are revered as gods. Apparently aggressive gods, as the main character has to leave her city after a rogue dragon has just destroyed it. All while she and her sister were struggling to make ends meet after their father's death. I'm not sure if these books might be set in the same universe or not, by the way. They look like they could be, but also the author might just really like dragons, which, fair, they are awesome. Moving on from the bleakness of death and destruction by a dragon, we have a fantasy comedy in A.L. Billington's Beast Be Gone. It's Terry Pratchett meets Ghostbusters in an RPG world, or, as I like to call it, Dungeons & Dragons Pest Edition. It looks like it could be a bit gory, as the bookmark literally has a severed goblin head on it. Beside the caption, goblins are people too. But I didn't see it advertised like that, so I'm not sure. This one is available from both Waterstones and Kobo, but isn't on Kobo Plus. If it were, I'd be all for trying this, but it not being there does put it further down my list. My TBR is long enough already, especially after MCM. The next one, if you've been around for a while, you would have heard multiple times, and that is Mark Stay. I got basically all of his books in October, and I haven't gotten around to reading any of them yet. The first one in one of his series, the Witches of Woodville series, has been featured in my TBR videos many times. It's set in 1940 and follows Faye Bright, who's just discovered from her deceased mother's journal that she's a witch. Sounds like it's just in time too, as the Crow folk are about to attack. This series is available from both Kobo and Waterstones, but isn't on Kobo Plus. His other series, the End of Magic series, has just had its third and I think final book released in March. I got the first two in October, and by the time we rolled round to his stall early Sunday, he was sold out of it. The latest book, I mean, so I'm guessing it's a good series. This series follows a couple of mages and their relations as they experience the apocalypse, the end of the world, the end of magic. This is the series that I was looking on my shelf going, there is no way my painful hands are going to be able to cope with that book. But I have since found them on Kobo Plus and have actually started it. I'm really enjoying it, but it is pretty bleak, which I probably should have realised from the whole apocalypse thing, but for some reason I wasn't expecting it. They're also available from Waterstones, and the audiobooks should be coming soon. The audiobooks for the Witches of Woodville series are already available. This next one I was really tempted by, and it's not available on Kobo, so perhaps I should have gone for it, but I really don't think my hands could have coped. That is the only reason I didn't buy it. It's Paul C. Sorrell's Winterhelm. It's a dark fantasy following 18-year-old Sam as he has to go home to live with his mother. While there, he discovers that she's a witch. He would have powers too, but he's male. He also realises that a lot of the villagers are witches. There are also 3 particularly strange/interesting women, and strange things keep happening around him. It sounds like a mystery that I really would love. It's available from Waterstones, so maybe if my hands ever feel better, I'll go for it. Moving on to something lighter, there's Will Soulsby-McCreath with the Unlicensed Delivery series. It's a cosy space opera involving a pilot finding a crew that seems less than ideal and attempting to get a license. he needs a license to get a job, he needs a job to get a license. It sounds pretty funny and maybe a little hijinky. Just reading the blurb, the characters seem like they're probably pretty fleshed out. They each have their own lives and backgrounds. I'm predicting it now. The characterization in this book is top tier. It is available on Kobo Plus, so hopefully I'll find that out and share it with you if I'm right, or if I'm wrong, I suppose. It's also available from Waterstones. The next author I'd heard of and seen lots of times. I've been put off previously because her book series is very long. It's A.K. Faulkner and the series is called Inheritance, starting with Jack of Thorns. Quick thing about the author is she did a workshop on how to become an indie author a few years ago with Mark Stay and a couple of other authors. If I remember correctly, she said that she couldn't go the traditional publishing route because at the time there wasn't really anything else in the genre yet. That genre is a slow burn romance between two men, one of whom is autistic. They also have powers of various kinds. They're chaotic bisexuals. One has plant powers, one has telekinesis. There's Celtic mythology and a dying god. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm sure there's some comedy in there somewhere. If you don't want to start a long series, which is fair enough, she's just starting a series called the Charlie Hart series. This features a very slow burn romance between two women at a spy agency. One is a railway engineer and the other a nanotech specialist. The latter's character sheet even says she might be an evil genius. It sounds like a lot of fun. The Inheritance series is currently on Kobo Plus and Waterstones, but no sign of the Charlie Hart series yet. We're getting there, we're almost done. Now we're moving on to the Essence of the Equinox series by Camilla Andrew. This is a neo-gothic romantic fantasy about a star in human form who doesn't believe in prophecies. Therefore, when she meets a demon of apocalyptic legend, she's not scared. She's fascinated. The blurb makes it sound a bit twisty, so I won't go more into what it says. The website currently has limited edition sprayed edge paperbacks to celebrate the latest book being released. I'm not... Do you want to come here? Come on in. Come on in. Do you need help? What's the matter? Come on. Come on in. Do you want to sit on me? You decide you want to sit on me? Do you want the cushion in there? Do you want to sit on me? If you want to sit on me, you can go there and then there. No. It doesn't work very well as a cushion on my lap, does it? I'm not entirely sure where it's available, as lots of the links on the site appear to be broken, but I can't find it on Kobo, but I can find it on the Waterstones website. As I mentioned, it's also available from the author's site directly, just as any of these books are. The next author I also ended up talking to for a long time, and that's Jennifer Druitt. She has a few standalones and makes sure to include neurodiverse characters in all of them, as she is neurodiverse herself. I'm only going to really talk about her most recent book, but the others do look interesting too. It's called The Midwife in the Middle and follows an autistic polyamorous midwife who has just left a relationship and is trying to start again with a new job, a new home, and a new outlook. But the universe intervenes. This is available on Kobo Plus, and I'm almost certainly going to be checking it out. Now we're at Royalty Sky with His Baby Girl. This book really doesn't sound like my thing, but the author was so nice. Obsessive and possessive love with morally grey main character. It's the slow, delicious undoing of a woman who was never meant to be tamed, and a man who'll burn the world just to claim her. I'm not much of a dark romance girly, but it is available on Kobo Plus and apparently only 2 to 3 hours long, so because the author was so nice, I might try it anyway. Finally, we're at the point where I can talk about the books that I actually bought. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I was expecting, because I wasn't expecting Lotus to be sat on my lap. I'm going to start with the Reign of Dragons anthology. This is a fully illustrated, limited edition version that I nabbed up quick. You alright? It's a collection of 18 short stories by different authors, and I just love it so much. I haven't started it yet, and I know it's a bulky book, so I really might struggle, but it's hardback, which makes it easier, and I can just read one story at a time. I have also discovered that it's actually available on Kobo Plus, so I could just read it there, even though I now have the physical book. You good? Yeah, no, this cushion isn't ideal. Helen Garraway was the author whose stall this was. Obviously, she's not the only author of this book, but she does have a lot of other books available, including an epic fantasy series about a man who is the only one who can save the world as a 3,000-year-old threat re-emerges. This is the Sentinel series, and the first 4 are available on Kobo Plus as audiobooks, and I think all are available on Waterstones. Then she has the Soul Mist series, which is a fantasy romance. Solange has some sort of secret power that means she can touch souls and read people's inner thoughts, while the male main lead, whose name I weirdly can't find, is soulless. I believe they go on a quest to try and get his soul back, but honestly I'm going off memory as I can't seem to find a full synopsis on his motive anywhere. The first 2 audiobooks are available on Kobo Plus, then the physical books are available from Foyles but not currently Waterstones, even though Foyles is owned by Waterstones. And finally she has the dystopian standalone Harmony. Our main character is a soldier with 2 scientist parents living on a sentient planet. He yearns to prove his worth and care for the world, but when he finds out how much of what he's been taught is a lie and how his superiors are exploiting the world, he'll be torn between the life he loves and fighting for the justice of the people. This one seems to only be available as an ebook, though there was definitely a physical version at the show and is available on Kobo Plus. Moving on to the next and penultimate author, we have Alexander Linton with A Song for Nightfall. I thought that was going to fall then. Nightfall. This is about a pair of siblings who live on the edge of the Amayali forest with the rest of their ancient tribe. They have ancient rituals, worship Mother Earth, and are always strict on their adherence to the forbidden. That is until Leah breaks away from the village and fulfills her dream of entering the Forbidden Forest. But at great cost. The tribe's dark history is brought to light, Mother Earth's true nature is brought into doubt, and the Amayeli tribe learns that nothing is ever forbidden without reason. I'm obviously excited about this, otherwise I wouldn't have it right now. This isn't available on Kobo at all, but the ISBN is on Waterstones. It's not currently available from there, and it is available on Google Books. Alexander Linton is also the author of The Wandering of Umbra. On a remote island ravaged by famine, the old cling to beliefs that they've come to resent, and the young bear the weight of the vanishing futures. All live in fear of what lurks in the fog. This is a chilling story of survival, fading faith, and the quiet terror of the unknown. It's available on Kobo, but not Kobo Plus, Google Books, and again, the ISBN is on Waterstones, but it's not currently available for purchase from there. Yo. Then last, but certainly not least, is C.K. Anderson and her series, the Offline series. Oh, that hurt. Oh, bye. Do you want the cushion in there? No? Okay. I think she does want the cushion in there, just now she's in there, so I can't put it in. Do you want the cushion? Yeah? This is a dark portal fantasy book involving a vampire best friend and a romantic subplot. It's a duology with a prequel novella and follows Saga as she falls into the world of the MMORPG she uses to escape. Well, reality. I guess it worked better than she thought. She's now trapped in this familiar world and I guess has to find a way out. Although when Grand Prior Roseheart sees the potential and power in her, and maybe something else, will she even want to leave? I'm really looking forward to finding out. I actually interrupted the author's whole selling spiel because I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to buy it. There was this gorgeous limited edition version of the first book, but not yet one of the second book, and it apparently ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm kind of scared to start it, but also excited to do so. This author was super nice and even gave me some free things because apparently I was nice back. Or maybe she was just happy to see me so excited. Not sure. Either way, this special edition is currently available on her store only, again at time of recording, so I don't know. And the regular editions seem to be currently out of stock, but I'm sure that won't last forever. They are available on the place I didn't want to mention again, but it's the only other place I can find them, Amazon. It's described as Alice in Wonderland meets Baldur's Gate 3 and WoW in this story with kick your feet, slow burn love, found family, and epic adventures. Again, I'm super excited! And now we've come to the end. I hope you found someone you might be interested in. Let me know if you have. I know my TBR has exploded by this point. As I said, all the authors' websites are hopefully linked in the description below, or can easily be found on Google at the very least. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to, please like and subscribe, and maybe you'll see me in the next one. Until then, bye.